I didn't think Red Dead Redemption 2 would become my comfort game. In fact, that title used to belong to smaller, simpler games, the kind you boot up for 30 minutes after a long day just to disconnect from everything. But RDR2 is different. It's not short, it's not simple, and it sure as hell doesn't disconnect you. If anything, it pulls you deeper into something more real than real life sometimes feels. It didn't start as comfort. The first time I played it, I rushed. Not because I didn't care, but because I was coming from games that taught me to move fast, skip the quiet, and chase the next big moment. I was wired for dopamine, not depth. But somewhere between Valentine and the Grizzlies, something shifted. I stopped playing at the game and started existing inside it. The moment it clicked wasn't even dramatic. I was riding through the heartlands at dusk. No mission active, no HUD, just Arthur, the sky turning gold, and the rhythmic sound of my horse trotting through a dirt path. I remember thinking, why am I still riding? Why haven't I fast traveled? And the answer was simple. I didn't want to skip the ride. I wanted to be in it. Right there, that moment. That's when I realized this wasn't just a game anymore. It was a place I wanted to return to, not to win, not to grind, but to feel something honest. Arthur Morgan is a big reason for that. He's one of the few protagonists who doesn't feel like a power fantasy. He feels like a person, and not a perfect one. He's gruff, hardened, but as the story unfolds, you start to notice the cracks in the armor, the guilt, the reflection, the quiet kindness he tries to give, even when he doesn't know how. That journal he keeps, I used to ignore it. Then one day, I opened it after a mission, and I saw Arthur sketch something. A tree, a bird, a town we passed through, with his own comments beside it. And suddenly, I wasn't reading some generic NPC filler. I was reading thoughts, memories, regrets. That's rare in games. That level of intimacy, that level of care, and it stuck with me. What makes Red Dead 2 a comfort game isn't happiness, it's melancholy. There's a sadness in this world that feels familiar. Not depressing, just reflective, like walking through your childhood home after everyone's moved out. It's in the music. It's in the way Arthur sighs when he sits by a fire. It's in the mist that rolls over Lemoyne in the early morning. The game doesn't rush to impress you. It invites you to slow down, to look, to listen, and that invitation, more than anything, is what makes it feel like comfort. Sometimes when things get overwhelming, in life I find myself booting up the game without any plan. I'll load into my save, check on my horse, maybe ride into town. Not for a mission, not for XP, just because being in that world feels right, feels still. And sometimes that stillness is exactly what I need. I'll fish, I'll hunt, I'll help a stranger, or I'll do nothing at all. I'll just sit at camp and watch the others talk. Let the fire crackle, let the night roll in. Because here's the thing, Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't afraid of silence, and neither is Arthur. There's a comfort in that silence, in not being pulled in 1,000 directions, in not being shouted at by quest markers, daily challenges, or constant alerts. The game gives you room, space to breathe. And ironically, in giving Arthur that space, it gives you that space too. I can't tell you how many times I've sat on a cliff in Roanoke Ridge, just watching the fog crawl through the trees. No soundtrack, no combat, just the wind. That's something most games never dare to do, to trust the player will find meaning in nothing. But Red Dead does, and that trust builds something rare, peace. Even the smallest things start to matter. Brushing your horse, brewing coffee over the campfire, cleaning your guns not because you have to, but because it feels like something Arthur would do after a long day. These little routines, they ground you. They bring you back to a pace of life most of us forgot even existed. And when life is chaotic, that's everything. The characters add to that comfort too. Not just Arthur, but the whole camp. The warmth of Hosea, the loyalty of Charles, the tragic complexity of Dutch, even the loud ones, Bill, Uncle, Javier, they feel like people you know, people who, for all their flaws, are trying to hold on to something. And when you sit down at the campfire and hear someone start singing, it doesn't feel scripted. It feels earned, like a brief pause in a long, crumbling life, a little moment of connection before everything falls apart. And yes, it all does fall apart. That's the heartbreaking part. The gang falls, the dream ends. Arthur's story ends. And yet, that is why I keep coming back. Because comfort isn't about avoiding sadness. It's about sitting with it, understanding it. Arthur's journey doesn't comfort me because it's happy. It comforts me because it's honest. It shows you that even in the end, you can still try to be better. Even if it's too late for you, maybe it's not too late to do something right. That thought, that small hope, it sticks with you. And every time I return, I'm not just replaying a game. I'm revisiting a place that understood me before I understood myself. A place where I can slow down, where I can ride without a goal, where I can say nothing for 10 minutes and still feel like something meaningful happened. So no, Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't a traditional comfort game, but it became mine, and I think that's the beauty of it. It doesn't try to be cozy. It doesn't try to be safe. It just gives you a space to exist, to reflect, to feel. And in a world that rarely gives us that anymore, this game became my quiet place. And maybe that's all I really needed.